What's the biggest WTF gift you've ever received? When I was like 12, my mom's boyfriend gave me a holiday card with sexual themes in the text. My mom pulled me aside later and told me that he was almost illiterate and hadn't read it before giving it to me and to never talk about it again. 16th birthday. Then girlfriend's dad gifted me a pair of sexy red lacy thong panties. I still don't know if he was suggesting that I sleep with his daughter, his wife, or him. When I was about 10, my little brother, only 3 or so, was very sweet and told my parents he had a present for me but didn't want anyone to see and wanted to wrap it himself. Christmas morning comes and I'm very moved by the showbox sized gift my little brother taped up as best he could and made my mom wrap for him. He excitedly brought it over and I noticed it was pretty light, but his eyes were giddy with excitement for me to open it. I figured it was a hand-drawn picture or something, and so I made a big show about being excited to see what was inside. As I started to remove the tape from the box, I noticed a little odd smell but figured it was just because the old box was in the basement. When I finally got the lid open and my brother excitedly exclaimed "Merry Christmas," I got to see what he was so excited about for the past 2 weeks. The box contained a dead hummingbird that had run into the window, an earthworm, and a few scattered saltines in case the worm and bird got hungry. Best present ever. But definitely WTF. I thought it was going to be sheet. I thought he shat in a box and gave it to you. That'd be a badass brother move. For my bridal shower, my mother-in-law gave me an old bikini. How do I know it was old? The elastic was crusty. I had one of these with my nana that turned into a ducking hallmark life lesson. High school. 1998 or so. At some point in October or so, I mentioned casually during a visit that my bedroom was chilly at night. Come Christmas, I opened my gift from Nana. A space heater. As a teenager who was hoping for video games or CDs or other such things, I put on the forced smile rictus and thanked her for the gift while internally bemoaning all the loot that could have been. I must have been grossly unconvincing because she got a bit anxiously defensive. You said your room was cold. I thought it'd help out. Later that night we head home. I plug the space heater in when I go to bed because why not? My god. My god. You all. The difference that space heater made. Actual ducking comfortable sleep for once. No waking up halfway through the night shivering. Or getting shocked awake by my foot straying too far from out of the covers. The next time I went to her house, I gave Nana a giant hug. And told her how much better my room was at night with that space heater. And gave her an actual genuine thank you. I didn't even mind the following: I told you it'd help. Ever since that Christmas, when I get something practical for Christmas from Nana, I thank her sincerely. Because it will be useful. I still use that space heater 20 years after the fact. 2. This story made me smile. A book called This Is Why You're Single. Thanks Mom. Inside the cover was just a mirror. This wasn't me, but it's a great story anyway. My very materialistic sister dated, and eventually married, a pretty rich guy. They met on New Year's Eve, so by the first Christmas they shared, they were together for a year. The whole first year he showered her with gifts and trips and all kinds of stuff. Even paying for her education. He seemed like a great guy, but because he was a little weird and shy, my parents didn't meet him until that first Christmas. Well, he showed up with gifts for all. Really nice and thoughtful things. My sister opened hers last. It was a huge box. Inside was another box. And another. That old gag with maybe 10 or 12 boxes. Well, we were all thinking at the bottom there is a ring. He's going to propose. When she got to the final box, it was a single roll of toilet paper and a can of Campbell's soup. I just about pissed myself with laughter looking at my sister's dumb ducking face. One of the top 10 moments in my life, if I'm being honest. We never got an explanation as to why. It wasn't an inside joke or anything. Just a weird ducking thing from a weird ducking guy. I like him, maybe even more than my sister does, but my parents definitely think he's a weirdo. Edit. Forgot to mention about 8 years after this I moved across the country, and my first Christmas without the family he sent me a half-eaten box of stale Triscuits and a Ziploc bag of hair that had fallen off their cat. There was no card, but he wrote Jews rule on the wrapping paper with Sharpie. My reward for being the only member of my family to not shun him for his weird behavior over the years. Edit. Here's a pic of my gift for the non-believers. A guinea pig. Just the guinea pig. No cage or anything. Eater, they gave it to me in a bucket. We kept it for a few months, then gave it to my cousins. Gifting pets without it being pre-approved in some way is a horrible thing to do. Pets are a monthly expense of time and money. Not only that, but buying animals on impulse without researching or having what they need first is already shitty. To force that on other people is even a tier. Welp. Guess I got to go buy a proper cage and a second guinea pig so it doesn't get depressed. Thanks. Christmas. 1993. I was 11. My grandma gave me one half of a pool cue. She gifted the other half to my then 8-year-old brother. Grandma, see? You can only use it if you two cooperate and share. We did not own a pool table. So which one of you tried to hit the other one with your gift first? A jar. When I was 12. I got a bunch of Tupperware for Christmas when I was 12 too. My parents thought it would be great cause I was the one who did the dishes. Spoiler. It wasn't. Edit. I would just like everyone to know that I still use the very same Tupperware to this day. It may have been a shitty gift, but it was still some quality Tupperware. I think your parents just wanted new Tupperware. When I was in college, my sister gave me a Donald Duck cement lawn ornament for Christmas. It weighed at least 40 pounds. I didn't have a lawn. And I didn't like Donald Duck. She has an excessive amount of lawn ornaments in her yard. I suspect that she realized that she hadn't gotten me anything as she was getting into her car and just grabbed the closest thing. I gave it away the next year at an after Christmas white elephant gift exchange. It was the best of the bad gifts. I was given a large industrial light bulb. Think of a cylinder the circumference of a soccer ball and about 15 inches tall, by my uncle. He told me it was worth a lot of money and would be hard to find another one if I ever needed one. Edit. Found it in the garage and then online. Here it is, the light bulb that isn't as big as I remembered. 1000bulbs.com. My mom last year decided she didn't want to go off of my Christmas list anymore because she wanted to surprise me. One of my gifts was a framed painting of 2 penguins. I was confused and it has been sitting in my closet for a year now. My mom called me the day Alan Rickman died to ask if I'd heard the news. It was a little after the holidays. And she told me later in the conversation she had one more surprise Christmas gift she had forgotten to give me. I did not realize these things were linked until the next time I visited and she surprised me with a portrait of Alan Rickman as Prof. Snape. She said she bought it the day he died. Just for me. I have no particular affinity for the actor or the character. It's also sitting in my closet. A cheese and champagne gift set that had the champagne and most of the other goodies taken out of it. So cheese in a mostly empty box. I mean, was it good cheese? Book on Tantric 6 for me and my boyfriend. From my brother. I opened it in front of my mom and all my in-laws. Great grandparents and teen cousins included. I think it was a sincere gift. You know your brother better than I do. But that seems like I'll give my sibling a 6 book to open in front of the family and it'll be super embarrassing for them. I've been wrong before though and I'll be wrong again. My youth pastor showed up to my house on my birthday and made a big deal about the gift he brought me. I opened it and it was a dead squirrel he shot that day. What the heck? Guy I worked with in community college bought me a pair of gorgeous diamond stud earrings. It was WTF because we had never spoken before that day. We weren't even acquaintances because we worked in different departments. He used this very expensive gift to ask me out. He asked me out for the weekend. At his place. His exact first words were, "You look like a woman who knows she deserves the finer things. Merry Christmas." It was July. Needless to say, I did not accept. He started arguing that he'd bought this beautiful gift and why wasn't I thankful? I tried to explain that buying a crazy expensive gift for someone who doesn't know you puts them in a very difficult position. One I didn't appreciate being put in. But he wasn't having it. My coworker who worked the desk with me had to tell him, with a lot of cuss words and a couple threats bless him, that the dude needed to back the duck down. That was the end of it for a while. Like 2 or 3 months. He never spoke to or bothered me again. Then I came into work one day and heard he'd been fired. A bunch of people were asking if I was okay and had he tried to do anything to me. I was freaked out and confused. I found out he had put a dead rat in the cabinet under where I stood at the service desk with a note that said something like just reminding you what you mean to me. I'm paraphrasing my co-workers paraphrase there because they wouldn't let me read it. Anywho, that's the story of how I got offered a desk job in the back and a 75-cent hourly raise. Edit. Lots of people commenting on seguis. This is my official permission for someone to post it there if they want. I'm sure if I did I'd just look like I wanted karma. A deactivated hand grenade duct taped to the head of an African style spear. I randomly went to some extended family Christmas event and they gave me a woven basket. Within 10 minutes. They had asked for the basket back. It meant something to them. I didn't really care. I thought it was odd and funny. A pet rat. Based on me having told the gifter that when I was in elementary school I liked the school's pet rat. I was 26 when I received this gift. Rat turned out to be a very good rat boy and we mourned his loss approximately 2 years later. I kinda love this. My sister had a snake drop almost on her head from the hood over the stove one winter. It was a cold winter and it must have crawled in there to get warm, from the heat rising off the stove. We figure it was someone's pet that either got out or they released. They are definitely not native here. So now she has a pet ball python. Obviously Rat Boy would not approve. But all the same. Odd how good friends are made sometimes. Last Christmas my mum got me a pair of XXL flannel pajamas. I'd been shopping with her the day she got them. She said they were for an aunt, and bought myself some pajamas in a medium. As we were talking about how I'd lost weight over the last couple of months since coming off my antidepressants. She also asked that day if I liked flannel and I told her I couldn't wear it because it causes my psoriasis to flare all over my body. I got a can of shaving cream. I was 11 and couldn't grow a mustache to save my life. Still can't and I'm pretty sure the can is still under my bathroom sink. Edit, guys. I'm 24 now. You can have smooth legs. Wasn't me but my cousin. And we all still laugh about this. Her step-grandmother was always giving her the strangest gifts, including a shiwi. That helps you be standing up as a girl, but our favorite was when she got my cousin and her husband a 6-painting canvas. It's a large tarp where you cover yourself and your sew in paint and roll around on it while having sex to create a love painting. My cousin was really shocked to get that from someone who was supposed to be a grandmother figure. As well as from someone she didn't have the closest relationship with. Still makes me laugh to think about. Edit. So I talked to my cousin and she and her husband laughed about whether they should do it and frame it and gift it back. Also another fun present she gifted her, a born again doll when she was 16 for Christmas. Look it up for full WTF context. Edit 2. My cousin, receiver of the gift, you hedgejar commented down below to add some more info. She is the keeper of all the fabulous stories surrounding this woman. An Egyptian pharaoh pen when I was in middle school. It was all gold colored. And the pen barrel stuck out between his legs. Needless to say I was mocked mercilessly by my classmates for having this massive Egyptian dog pen. You should have said you got it from Penisland Sea. For Christmas. My mom once gave me coupons to a restaurant that had recently went out of business. Maybe not WTF in the general sense. But certainly poor timing. My husband's parents gifted him his cemetery plot on his 50th birthday. 1 for me. 2. That generation bought cemetery plots like land speculators of the 1800s. Catholic cemeteries of Chicago made a killing on pre-sold plots. A microwave. It wasn't even a nice one with unnecessary modern features. My ducking already had a microwave. And it was from my girlfriend. Maybe it was a hint. 2 microwaves when you already have a good one? Maybe she's hinting at a 3-way since you already have a perfectly good girlfriend. Better ask her loudly and suddenly in public and report back here to tell us how it goes. Was nearing my 16th birthday and my family kept dropping hints about a car. Wasn't expecting anything newer than 10 years old as we were barely middle class. A car would have been great as waiting for my mom to drop me off pick me up from work sucked. For 3 damn months they kept asking me about what I thought of certain cars. Talking about how I'd have to learn how to do basic maintenance. How to keep it clean looking so people wouldn't think bad of me when I got a car. The day comes and there's a box just big enough to hold a small item such as a car key. They gather round and proudly hand it me. As I open it I realize it's a Hot Wheels car. They didn't even spring for a new one. They gave me a broken Hot Wheels car from a toy box I didn't realize I still had. Edit. To everyone asking. I was in no way thinking I would be handed a car when I turned 16 because I felt entitled. I knew we were borderline poor growing up. They started dropping these hints and leading me on about a car. I fully expected to have buy my once I had enough money saved up. Yes, they were big digs to pull that kinda shit. But we moved past it and they helped me down the road upgrade to a nicer used pickup when I was 19. A pair of diabetic socks from my mother-in-law. I'm not diabetic. I think she just thought they were warm socks for around the house and didn't read what they were really for. Edit. I did try to wear the socks. But they didn't work fit. I agree they probably are great socks for non-diabetic people as well. Nothing against the socks. Just a strange gift to give with no context or explanation. Did she at least also give you insulin so you could inject the diabetic socks and help maintain their sugar levels?